Have you ever wondered why strange things keep happening in your home? Why the atmosphere sometimes feels heavy? Why you wake up at night for no reason? Or why tension lingers even when no one's arguing? You may think it's coincidence. You may think it's just life. But what if I told you it could be something or someone you can't see? I'm talking about witches, not the fairy tale kind, but real people who use dark intentions to target you. And the most shocking part, they don't need to step foot in your house. Sometimes, all it takes is for you to own, display, or use certain everyday items, things you'd never imagine could be luring them in. You think your home is your sanctuary, but to them, it's a doorway, and 3 common objects could be that open door. The first is something so ordinary, you probably touch it multiple times a day without a second thought. Mirrors, not just a reflection of you, but a reflection of your energy. Witches know that mirrors hold and transmit spiritual imprints. They're not just glass, they're portals, gateways for energy to pass through. If one of your mirrors has been gifted to you, found in an old home or bought second hand, you could be holding a piece of someone else's spiritual residue, and that residue can be used to watch you, weaken you, or even influence your mind. People underestimate how much energy is tied to objects, especially ones that have reflected countless faces over the years. That's why in certain cultures, mirrors are covered when someone passes away, because they believe spirits can be trapped or released through them. Now imagine an object like that in your home, untouched, unprotected. If a witch wants a way in, that's one of the easiest openings. The second is far less mystical in appearance, but equally dangerous: personal photographs. We live in a time where we casually hang photos on the wall, keep them on our desks, or post them online without a second thought. But to a witch, a photograph is a direct link to you. It holds your likeness, your essence, even a piece of your soul's imprint. That's why certain old-world traditions forbid you from giving out your photo to strangers. Once in the wrong hands, that image becomes a key to you, used in rituals, curses, and energy manipulation. And here's the unsettling part. You might not even realize someone has taken a photo of you without your permission, or saved one from your social media. The more personal the photo, the stronger the connection. This is why protecting your image isn't vanity, it's survival. The third item is one that people overlook because it seems so harmless, so beautiful, so decorative. Feathers, they may seem like nature's ornaments, symbols of freedom, peace, or spirituality, but in the wrong hands, they can become tools for witchcraft. Feathers are often used in rituals because they carry the energy of the bird they came from. Some are used for blessings, yes, but others can be charged with destructive energy. If you've picked up a feather from the ground, received one as a gift, or bought it from a market without knowing its origin, you might have unknowingly brought a spiritually charged object into your home, and once it's there, it can act like an antenna, attracting or amplifying energies, both good and bad. A witch who knows this can intentionally leave a feather near your door or window as a way of marking your home for spiritual intrusion. You think danger only comes when someone is standing at your door, when you can see it, hear it, confront it face to face. But the truth is, the most dangerous intrusions are the ones you never see coming. Witches, real ones, don't need to walk into your home to reach you. They don't need to knock or break in, or even be anywhere near your street. They work differently. They work through intention, through objects, through energy. All they need is a point of connection, something inside your home that acts like a signal, a receiver. And the moment you own, display, or even touch certain things, you might as well have left the door wide open. That's the mistake most people make. They think spiritual attacks are loud and obvious, when in reality, they're silent and precise. They happen in the background, in ways you won't notice until the damage is already done. That's how they reach into your life, into your thoughts, into your relationships, without ever setting foot inside your home. They bypass your locks, your alarms, your walls, because those things only stop what you can see. The real danger is in what you can't. A mirror is not just a piece of glass you glance into before leaving the house. It's far more than that. It doesn't just reflect your face, it reflects your presence, your energy, your very essence. Every time you stand in front of it, you leave something behind. Witches understand this better than most. They know that a mirror can store and transmit energy like a silent witness, holding onto imprints of everyone who's ever looked into it. That's why an old mirror, a gifted mirror, or one you picked up second hand isn't just decor, it's an unknown history hanging on your wall. You have no idea whose energy is trapped inside it, or what kind of intentions might be tied to it. And if a witch wants access to you, they can use that mirror as a gateway, a spiritual passageway straight into your home. Cultures across the world have known this for centuries. That's why some cover mirrors during times of death, believing they can catch wandering spirits or open doors to the other side. So when you keep one in your home, especially one with a past you can't trace, you need to understand it's not just reflecting your image. It could be reflecting you into the hands of someone who wants to harm you. If you've ever walked through an antique shop or picked up a beautiful old mirror at a flea market, you probably thought you were buying charm, history, or maybe just a good deal. But here's what you might not realize. You weren't just buying an object, you were taking home every piece of energy that object has ever absorbed. A second-hand or gifted mirror isn't a blank slate. It has a past, a life before it came to you, and you have no way of knowing what that life contained. Think about it. How many faces has it reflected? How many arguments, how many tears, how many moments of deep emotion has it silently witnessed? Because mirrors don't just show you what's in front of them, they hold on to it. That's why in some traditions, mirrors are considered dangerous to own if you don't know where they came from. A gifted mirror might feel special. Maybe it's from a family member. Maybe it's an heirloom. Maybe it's from someone you trust. But even then, you can't always be sure of the energy it carries. People can pass along objects with the best intentions, but that doesn't erase whatever is already bound to them. And when it comes to witches or those who understand the manipulation of energy, they don't even have to be in your home to make use of it. They can work through it remotely, using the mirror as a conduit. It becomes a spiritual spyglass reflecting not just your face, but your habits, your moods, your vulnerabilities. Now here's where it gets unsettling. Some witches deliberately give mirrors as gifts because they know exactly how this works. They'll choose something beautiful, something ornate, something they know you'll keep in a prominent place. The moment you hang it, it's not just decorating your home. It's anchoring a connection between you and them. They can project energy into it or draw energy out of it without you ever suspecting a thing. And because you think of it as a simple, harmless object, you'll never feel the need to shield it, cover it, or move it. That's exactly what they count on, your lack of suspicion. And second, hand mirrors, those are even more unpredictable. You might find one in a thrift store, a garage sale, or a roadside market. It's charming, it's vintage, it has character. But here's the truth: vintage can mean decades of accumulated energy. Some of it may be harmless, some of it may even be positive, but you have no way of knowing if it's been involved in rituals, if it was present during moments of trauma, or if someone deliberately charged it with intent, good or bad. Once that mirror is in your home, it becomes part of your space, part of your energetic field. People often underestimate how much emotional and spiritual residue an object can hold. Science might call it association, tradition calls it energy imprinting, but witches call it opportunity. A mirror with a history is like a book with pages written in invisible ink. You can't read it, but it's there. And if someone knows how, they can open it and read everything about you without you ever opening your mouth. They can influence how you feel in certain rooms, cause restless nights, and subtly affect your relationships, all through something you think is just hanging on the wall. This is why I always tell people, be careful what you bring into your home, especially when it comes to mirrors you didn't buy new. If you must have one, cleanse it, spiritually protect it. Treat it like a live wire until you know for sure it's safe. Because once a second hand or gifted mirror is in place, it's not just reflecting you, it's inviting anyone tied to it, past or present, to step right into your space. And trust me, not everyone who's been reflected in it deserves another look into your life. In many cultures, there's a reason people cover mirrors after someone dies, and it's not just superstition. It's protection. They believe that in those moments when a soul is leaving the body, the veil between the physical and spiritual world is thinner than usual. A mirror in that state is not just a reflection, it becomes an open door. The belief is that a wandering spirit can get trapped inside it, or worse, use it as a pathway to linger in this world instead of moving on. Some even say that a mirror at that moment can capture the essence of the living, leaving you with a part of yourself missing, weakened, vulnerable. Witches understand this principle deeply. They know that mirrors are powerful conduits, especially during heightened emotional or spiritual events. So, imagine owning a mirror that was present in a home during a death, a funeral, or intense grief, and never knowing it. Imagine keeping it uncovered, hanging in your hallway, reflecting you day after day. That's not just a household item anymore. That's a spiritual hazard. And while you may see it as harmless tradition when people drape a cloth over a mirror, those who understand energy know it's as strategic as locking your doors at night. Because what you're really doing is cutting off an entrance, blocking an escape route, closing the eyes of something that might be watching. The moment you dismiss this as just folklore is the moment you leave yourself exposed to forces you don't even believe in until they make you believe. A photograph is not just paper and ink. It's a fragment of you frozen in time. It's more than an image. It's your likeness, your essence, your unique energetic signature captured in a way that can be held, studied, and manipulated. Every detail in that photo, your eyes, your expression, the way your body leans, speaks volumes to someone who knows how to read it. Witches understand this better than anyone. They know that once they have your image, they don't need your presence. They can connect to you, focus on you, and channel energy toward you no matter where you are in the world. It's why in some cultures, people are fiercely protective of their photographs, refusing to let strangers take them. They understand that the photo isn't just a memory. It's a direct link to the living person. Think about how casually we treat pictures today. We hang them in our homes, post them online, hand them to others without a second thought. We assume they're harmless because they're everywhere, but that's exactly what makes them dangerous. If the wrong person has your photograph, they have a spiritual fingerprint that's unique to you. And with that, they can work rituals designed to influence your emotions, disrupt your health, or create obstacles in your path. They can focus their intention on the version of you in the photo, and through that reach the real you. You might feel it as sudden fatigue, unexplained anxiety, or a shift in your relationships, never realizing the attack started with a picture you once smiled for. What's worse is that you often have no idea who ends up with your images. Social media makes it effortless for someone to download them, save them, and keep them indefinitely. A photograph you posted years ago might still be in the possession of someone you don't even remember. And if that person decides to turn on you, they don't need to confront you. They can target you through the image you freely gave. This is why being protective of your photographs is not vanity, it's self-defense. Because in the wrong hands, a simple picture becomes a weapon, and you become the target without ever seeing the strike. When a photograph ends up in the wrong hands, it stops being just a memory and becomes a tool, one of the most personal weapons someone can use against you. In witchcraft, a photo is like a stand-in for the actual person. They don't need your hair, your clothing, or to physically see you. That picture becomes you in their ritual space. They can place it in a circle, burn it, pierce it, or surround it with objects designed to send specific energy your way. If they want to weaken you, they'll work with that image until you start to feel drained. If they want to cloud your judgment, they'll target the face in that photo until your mind feels heavy, confused. You might wake up feeling unlike yourself, unable to pinpoint why. You'll write it off as stress, bad luck, or just life. But the truth is, someone could be working you from a distance, and you wouldn't even know it. This is why witches don't always need direct contact, they thrive on access. And your photograph is access. It's a link so strong that some traditions believe whatever happens to the image happens to you on an energetic level. A tear through your face in that photo, that's not just damage to paper. It's a symbolic wound aimed at you. Fire touching that photo, it's not just burning an image, it's sending destruction straight to your spirit. People underestimate the power of these symbolic acts, but when intention is paired with an object tied to you, it's not symbolic anymore, it's targeted action. The worst part is, most people have no idea their images are circulating. You give one to a friend, they pass it on to someone else, and suddenly it's outside your control. Or you post it online thinking it's just for your audience, forgetting that screenshots and downloads have no limits. That's why when someone with bad intentions gets hold of your photo, you don't need to see them standing in your doorway to know they've entered your life. They already have, through a piece of you gave away without thinking twice. Social media has made it easier than ever for people to get their hands on your photographs without you even realizing it. Every time you post a picture, you think you're just sharing a moment, but what you're really doing is giving anyone, anywhere, the ability to take a piece of you. A simple right, click, a screenshot, and that image is no longer yours. It could be sitting in a stranger's phone, saved in a folder you'll never see, waiting for the day they decide to use it. And the thing about witches or anyone who understands spiritual manipulation is they are patient. They can hold on to that photo for months, years even, until the right moment to act. You'll forget you ever posted it, but they won't. The problem is, the digital world feels harmless because it's invisible. You can't see who's saving your pictures. You don't hear the click when they do it. You can't track the copies once they're out there. And because it's so easy to post, we treat it casually, almost carelessly. But if someone with ill intent wants to connect to you spiritually, emotionally, or energetically, they don't need to step foot in your home. They just need that one image. Once they have it, they can work in silence, directing energy toward you without your knowledge. That's why being cautious online isn't paranoia. It's survival. You don't need to stop sharing your life, but you do need to be smart about what you put out there. Limit the access people have to your image, because once it's out of your hands, you have no control over who's holding it, what they're doing with it, or what energy they are sending back your way. In the wrong hands, that selfie you thought was just for fun can become the starting point for a spiritual attack you'll never see coming. Feathers seem harmless, even beautiful, soft, light, a symbol of freedom or spirituality. People hang them in their homes, wear them in jewelry, or pick them up on walks thinking they're nature's gift. But in the wrong hands, a feather is far from innocent. Witches know that feathers carry the essence of the bird they came from. They hold its energy, its life force, its connection to the skies, and just like any object that carries energy, that force can be redirected, amplified, or corrupted. That's why feathers are such a common tool in rituals. They're not just decoration, they're conduits. You might think nothing of picking one up from the ground or buying it from a market, but here's the danger. You have no idea where it's been or who's touched it before you. A feather can be charged with intention, and that intention can be either a blessing or a curse. In the hands of someone skilled in witchcraft, it can become a marker, a carrier of energy placed deliberately to draw attention to you or your home. A witch might leave a feather near your doorway, on your porch, or even by a window, knowing you'll either ignore it or bring it inside. And the moment it's in your space, it starts working silently, subtly, affecting the atmosphere, influencing moods, attracting more of the same energy it was charged with. This is how people invite harm into their homes without realizing it, by bringing in objects they think are harmless. A feather might feel like a piece of the earth's beauty, but beauty can be a disguise. And if you don't know its origin, if you can't trace where it came from, you have no control over the energy it's carrying. Witches count on that ignorance. They count on you seeing it as nothing more than a pretty detail in your decor, while it sits there quietly opening a door you didn't even know existed. Decorative feathers are some of the most underestimated spiritual traps you can bring into your home. You see them in dream catchers, wall art, centerpieces, or tucked into hats and jewelry. They're marketed as symbols of peace, freedom, or connection to nature, but symbols can be twisted. A feather that's been intentionally charged with negative energy becomes more than just an ornament. It becomes an antenna, pulling in and amplifying the very energy it was designed to carry. Witches know this, and they use it. They don't have to storm into your home to start working on you. They just need something inside your space that's already tuned to the frequency they want. Here's what people miss. Energy moves both ways. If a feather is charged with darkness, it doesn't just sit there. It radiates it. It seeps into the air you breathe, the mood you carry, the way people interact in that space. You might notice more tension in the house, sudden fatigue, restless nights, or even strange arguments that come out of nowhere. And you'll never suspect that the cause might be that beautiful feather arrangement sitting in the corner. That's the brilliance of it. It hides in plain sight. Some witches will even leave these feathers outside your home, knowing that curiosity or appreciation will drive you to pick them up and bring them in. The moment you do, you've completed the invitation. You've taken the energy from the outside world and anchored it into your personal space. And because you think of it as harmless decor, you won't shield it, cleanse it, or remove it. You'll let it stay, all while it keeps attracting the exact kind of energy that person wanted in your home. It's quiet, it's clever, and it's exactly why you need to question every object you allow into your life, especially the ones that seem too pretty to possibly be dangerous. Awareness is your first and strongest line of defense, because you can't fight what you don't recognize. Witches and people who deal in dark intentions rely on your ignorance. They count on you not noticing the small things, not questioning the harmless, looking objects in your home. The mirror hanging on your wall, the photograph on your desk, the feather tucked into your decor, these things seem innocent, but that's the perfect disguise. They are not going to use something that screams danger. They're going to use something you love, something you value, something you'll never think twice about. That's how they get close without being seen. When you understand that these everyday items can be spiritual gateways, you stop moving through life on autopilot. You start seeing your home differently. You notice what doesn't belong. You trust your instincts when something feels off. You cleanse objects before bringing them in. You question where they came from, who gave them to you, and why. That shift in mindset is what closes doors to the people who want to harm you without ever stepping foot on your property. Protection doesn't always mean building walls. It means paying attention. It means not letting sentimentality override your safety. It means being willing to let go of an object, no matter how beautiful or valuable, if it's carrying something you don't want in your life. Because once you know the truth, you're no longer a passive target. You're an active guardian of your space. And when you guard it with awareness, those who thrive in shadows will think twice before trying to enter your light. So in the end, it's not about living in fear. It's about living with your eyes open. The world is full of beauty, but it's also full of hidden traps, and the most dangerous ones are the ones dressed as harmless, everyday things. Witches don't always come in the form you expect. They use mirrors to watch, photographs to connect, feathers to channel, and they rely on you not knowing the difference. But once you do know, once you can see these items for what they truly are, you take away their power. Your home becomes more than just walls and a roof. It becomes a fortress. Your awareness becomes your armor. And the moment you stop leaving the door open, the moment you start guarding every pathway in, is the moment you take back control of your space, your energy, and your life.